Hey guys, just wanted to share with you a joke that my friend told me earlier. Alright, here it goes. Why did the chicken cross the road? Why did the chicken cross the road? 'Cause it wanted to reach ya. Funny, right? 'Cause it wanted to reach ya. 'Cause it wanted to reach ya. That reminds me, I need to start filming for episode 7. So I'll see you guys later. Episode 7 is coming soon. I'll see you later, and remember, the chicken crossed the road 'cause it wanted to reach ya. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Around the World on 8 Plates. Today, we are going to travel around the world once again, and we're going to Central America. In this show, we're going to learn about the culture, we're going to learn about that country in particular, and most importantly, we are going to learn how to cook a signature dish from that country. Which country is it? Let me give you some clues later. For now, I'm going to tell you that we are going to make something different today. We're going to make a breakfast dish. I remember we made a breakfast dish in episode 2. We went to the UK and we made a full English breakfast fit for a queen. Well, we are going to another country today and we're going to try to make their breakfast. And we will find out whether or not their breakfast is different from the breakfast we made in episode 2. I'm sure there will be some differences, and let's find out what they are. But before we start cooking, let me give you some clues as to which country we are featuring today. Are you ready for the clues? Let's go. Clue number 1. Well, the people here are really lucky because they are considered some of the happiest people in the world. You know why they're so happy? Well, it's because they do not have an army. This country, the government there, they spend more money on education, on healthcare, on pension. So people there are much happier. So that's clue number 1. Alright, clue number 2. This clue is for all of you who are turtle lovers out there. In a place called Tortuguera National Park, between the months of July and September, you can visit that national park and see turtles. Sea turtles lay eggs. Other than turtles, this country is also famous for its biodiversity. And one of the most popular activities for tourists is zip lining. Zip lining is when you climb up trees, you go to the top of a tree, there's a rope attached to the tree, and you go to another part of the forest. Okay guys, here's clue number 3. It's a song, and I am going to sing it. Bear with me. 3, 2, 1, go. Bum, bum, bum. You really love, but it makes you forget the real ya. Spending the days drinking tequila. You think you live pura vida. Yep, in this country, pura vida is very important. It's like a pure life, and that is their motto in life. So where in the world are we going? We're going to a place that has no army for sure, where wildlife thrive, where you can go zip lining, where you think you live pura vida. And remember the chicken? It crossed the road to reach ya. It crossed to reach ya. It crossed to reach ya. We're going to Costa Rica! Okay, so today we're going to Costa Rica and we're going to make a Costa Rican dish called Gallo Pinto. It is served all over Costa Rica for breakfast and it is really popular. Gallo Pinto will not be complete without salsa lisado. Salsa lisado is a kind of salsa that is made especially in Costa Rica. Although we are miles away from Costa Rica in Taiwan, we're going to try to make our own salsa lisado. And after that, we're going to interview someone from Costa Rica So, it's time for cooking. What are you waiting for? Let's start cooking. To understand how to cook Gallo Pinto better, let us quickly learn more about Costa Rica. Here's a postcard showing us the flag, some basic information, and the location of Costa Rica on a map. Finally, continue reading the story to find out why Costa Rica doesn't have an army. So let's start with ingredients. What do we need to make Gallo Pinto? Okay, so for the homemade salsa Lizano, first you'll need 3 to 5 canned jalapeno peppers. Where can you buy these peppers? You can go to Willie's Deli. The address is on the left side of your screen right now. Following that, you'll need half a small onion, half a carrot chopped, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 tablespoons of lemon or lime juice, 1 tablespoon of vinegar, 1 teaspoon of cumin, 2 teaspoons of molasses, and salt and pepper. So what exactly is molasses? First of all, molasses is an uncountable noun. The second thing you need to know is molasses is a kind of sweetener, but it doesn't come from bees like honey. It doesn't come from trees like syrup. It actually comes from sugarcane. Now what else do you need? Well, for the Gallo Pinto itself, you'll need cooked day-old rice, 2 to 3 cups. You need canned black or red beans. These beans are available at Carrefour. You need an onion. You need a red bell pepper. You need cilantro. You need salt and pepper. You need vegetable oil, butter, and finally sour cream. Sour cream is available at Costco. Another way to get sour cream is to go to any Mexican restaurant and then make sure you order something and ask for extra sour cream, because the amount of sour cream you buy at Costco is a lot. So if you want to save money, you can just go to a Mexican restaurant, order something, and ask for extra sour cream, and then you'll have sour cream. Okay, so let's start by making the salsa Lizano. First, put in some vinegar into a blender or a food processor. Today we're using sugarcane vinegar, but any type of vinegar will do. The next thing that goes inside the blender is going to be your cumin powder. Because you'll need 1 teaspoon of cumin powder, it's a good idea to just remove the cap and pour some directly onto your spoon like so. After that, in goes the sugar. So you'll need 2 tablespoons of sugar this time. And then after the sugar, you have to put in some salt. There goes the salt. Now, after the salt, you put in some pepper. So please make sure you use black pepper. Then after that, you put in 3 to 5 jalapeno peppers, canned, pickled, and canned. After that, you put in the onions. There go the onions. And finally, the carrots. Okay, now all you have to do is put in some lemon juice. But if you don't have enough lemon juice, it's a good idea to put in the rind or the meat of the lemon, because you're going to blend everything together anyway. For the molasses, it's time to put it in as well. My suggestion is to put in 1 tablespoon or 1 teaspoon first. It depends if you like it sweet or not. And then you can add more if it's not sweet enough. Now finally, you add in the juice from the canned jalapeno. That's going to give it much more flavor. Now that everything is ready, I think it's time for you to start blending everything together. So you press on. And don't forget to put your hand on top of the blender in case it flies all over your kitchen.
Believe me, it's going to be messy if that happens. Now you turn it off and you take off the lid, and that's what it looks like. Now you give it a taste test. Now put the salsa Lizano in a container and set it aside. If you refrigerate it, it will last 2 weeks. Okay, so in a hot pan or skillet, add some oil. A little bit more will be okay. Put your hand on top. Make sure that it's hot enough before you put in the vegetables. So when it's hot enough, that's when you know that you can put in the vegetables. So you have green, red bell peppers, and onions. I have green bell peppers left over, so I was like, might as well put it inside. Then you make sure you season it with some salt. Now in go the beans. You can use red beans or black beans. Either way, when you go to Carrefour, just go to the imported goods section. You'll find them, I'm sure. Okay, now you give it a stir. Wow, it smells so good from here. Now you'll see that the pan has become a little sticky. It's because of the sugar coming from the beans. The beans have some sugar. Okay, now it's time to add the rice. So make sure you use day-old rice. Why day-old rice? Because that's what makes Gallo Pinto Gallo Pinto. Now it's time to add the salsa Lizano. Give it a good stir, or mix everything completely for around 5 minutes, or until all the liquid has evaporated. Now add freshly chopped coriander or cilantro and give it a good stir. Now Gallo Pinto, here's a quick story. Gallo Pinto, it was actually born out of necessity. They used day-old rice because many times rice and beans were left over from the day or the night before, and they didn't want to waste the rice. So they came up with this idea of putting the rice and the beans together for breakfast. And that's why it's a breakfast dish. Okay, now I think it's ready. Now before serving, you top it with some sour cream. Now no breakfast is complete without eggs, so top everything off with an egg, but that is just optional. Sprinkle with some more fresh coriander and drizzle some molasses on the plate. And there you have it, Gallo Pinto. So now let's welcome our special guest, Mr. Charlie Fernandez, whose family immigrated to the US from Costa Rica. Today he's going to talk about some of his fondest memories from his first trip to Costa Rica.
The summer after I graduated from high school, I had the chance to go to Costa Rica finally with my family. And this was actually the first time that I was traveling outside of the US, so I was super excited. And although that was a long time ago, I still remember the trip fondly. When I touched down into Costa Rica, I remember just being very surprised by how different it was compared to the US. The pace of lifestyle there seemed very slow and chill, and all the locals seemed very friendly, but maybe that was because I was a tourist. But one of my fondest memories from that trip was when I got to go ziplining. We drove to the top of a mountain, and from there we got to zip line down a series of 11 different zip lines through the jungles of Costa Rica, and I even saw some monkeys swinging through the trees. It was such a cool experience. So if anyone ever goes to Costa Rica, this is something I would always highly recommend.
Just in case, here is a written recipe of Gallo Pinto. Feel free to share in the comments how yours turned out. If you like my content, feel free to subscribe and like my videos to get weekly video recipes. Anyway, enough talking. Here is the written recipe. Instructions for Part 1. For each question in this part, you will hear 4 statements about a picture in your test book. When you hear the statements, you must select the one statement that best describes what you see in the picture. Then find the number of the question on your answer sheet and mark your answer. The statements will not be printed in your test book and will be spoken only one time. Number 1. A. There aren't any beans in the can. B. It is time to add the salsa. C. The rice and beans in the pan are burned. D. All the rice has been used. Number 2. A. We're much closer to Central America than Europe. B. There's a storm in the middle of the ocean. C. We are in the middle of a flight that takes more than 2 hours. D. Africa is on the left side of the picture. Number 3. A. We are eating a hard-boiled egg for breakfast. B. The tomatoes have been diced into small pieces. C. There isn't any meat on the plate. D. I forgot to put toast on the plate. Number 4. A. The plant is right next to the colorful lamp. B. There are 2 pots of plants in the picture. C. 2 women are working in a restaurant. D. There are no bottles on the counter. Number 5. A. 2 women are bungee jumping. B. There's a waterfall in the picture. C. The people ziplining are wearing shorts. D. It is fun to zipline from a tree. Part 2. You will hear some talks given by a single speaker. You will be asked to answer 3 questions about what the speaker says in each talk. Select the best response to each question and mark the letter A, B, C, or D on your answer sheet. The talks will not be printed in your test book and will be spoken only one time.
The summer after I graduated from high school, I had the chance to go to Costa Rica finally with my family. And this was actually the first time that I was traveling outside of the US, so I was super excited. And although that was a long time ago, I still remember the trip fondly. When I touched down into Costa Rica, I remember just being very surprised by how different it was compared to the US. The pace of lifestyle there seemed very slow and chill, and all the locals seemed very friendly, but maybe that was because I was a tourist. But one of my fondest memories from that trip was when I got to go ziplining. We drove to the top of a mountain, and from there we got to zipline down a series of 11 different zip lines through the jungles of Costa Rica, and I even saw some monkeys swinging through the trees. It was such a cool experience. So if anyone ever goes to Costa Rica, this is something I would always highly recommend.